Welcome to the Manifestation Easter News Flash that is coming to you from my office atelier to your hopefully beautiful and blessed by me to you Easter Day, Easter Sunday. On this little video, I wanted to ask attention for three news flashes in the manifestation leading edge realm of today in 2021, and also invite you to our book reading club later this afternoon, or whatever time it is where you're watching this, later today in about 2 hours, because in that book club we'll be live discussing with you, with your active participation. We're going to discuss beautiful, fresh lessons as well from a magical manifestation book that I will introduce to you. Um, but that's later today, and for now, I just have 3 points for you to be aware of. Everyone these days wants to manifest. And I think you're right. You're so right. You just want to have that fulfillment and that satisfaction in every moment, and that is your birthright. So I applaud you, and that is wonderful. It is really something to take in deeper, take into your experiential field that is you, and really deepen it there. Feel your energy in that, feel your feelings in that, feel how your body feels inside of that wish. That is a fundamental technique or tool, if you will, to get deeper into what that is for you. And that's where the challenge often starts to present itself, because that is exactly what you often don't see that people do, that business advisors or meditation teachers or all kinds of, well, teachers don't really do. So be I wanted you to be aware of this differentiation so that you can decide better for yourself what really works for you and what doesn't. There tends to be this confusion about that manifestation means that we're now going to put our ego personality kind of will behind our goals. And that is only subtle but very importantly different from feeling the inside of your actual energy field, your actual feelings, and don't dissociate from them. Your actual feelings that then can get a deepening if you go through that door that is presented in those feelings. So you would be like, oh gosh, there's a door in my feelings? Like, what are you talking about? But the point is that your feelings are always a door. They're the door themselves to this deeper reality. And when you move through that door, in other words, when you process your feelings, in other words, when you feel your feelings, then something comes out of that. Something comes out of that. You get to another place. And that is the place where that deepest desire of you is already true. So, in that way, you can work with your actual feelings and don't dissociate from them. No matter how they feel, you process them and something comes out. And what comes out of that is really something comes out of that. I can guarantee you that. Okay. So, something comes out, and that is closer to your actual manifestation goals. And that's what I want for you. And this is also why in our community called Your Abundance, which is our Facebook group as well, we actually do the key tool to open that door. And then you go through it and you are one step closer to your goals that you actually wanted to manifest. But now you're manifesting them with your soul, with your actual divine identity, and not with your ego personality. And then you would maybe say, like, but why would I do that, Petra? Come on. What is this kind of thing? Now I'm going to create with my feelings, but why? Well, you know, wouldn't you like to have those outcomes, those manifestations be eternally there, building on a rock solid foundation so that they cannot be made undone anymore? Not tomorrow, not next year, and also not next lifetime. So that's one reason why we do this, but there are more. And well, one more reason is because this is the only way that you manifest your actual true uh, soul bound desires, and not by accident something else that you will later be like, oh, that was not really what I desired. Well, why did you go through that whole process to manifest it when you come out of that process being like, oh gosh, that was not really what I desired, you know? So that's not what I want for you. I want for you to manifest something that is what you really desire and that will last. You see? So that's why we work with our feelings. We use the key tool in our community, Your Abundance, where you're very much invited. And then this whole thing is actually the fundament, the foundation on which we do business. So if you want to build your entrepreneurship on the base of your unique qualities, then I also invite you to have them be your soul qualities and to have that fundament there when you start to like build and like do marketing and start compiling beautiful nudges of your unique wisdom that you can get there at that place behind that door, right? To translate those nudges of wisdom that you uniquely can get there and translate them into tools that you have shaped, and then into programs that you have built with your price tag on it. And you see, that's how you can become this creative entrepreneur that is actually the alchemist of the future already, just like that. So I just wanted to, yeah, to bring that news to you that this is really the leading edge way to do business. And this is what I have been studying and trying out and actually doing myself, specifically the last 10 years, since 2011, which was also the first time that the key tool came into existence. There were some years in which it refined, but now we're really there. So the second, the second one thing that I wanted to discuss today is that um, last week I did some posts in which being a woman and being a feminist and stuff came into being, into the scope. And that is interesting because there are so many groups, and women are one group that desire this emancipatory step forward. And that is so, I want that for you too. I think that's very healthy, it's very sane, it's very emotionally freeing, and it's mentally strong. And that is wonderful. But the point is, there are also deeper lessons into every aspect of personality and society. So if you speak about feminism, for instance, which I did a couple days ago on my timeline. It was about Meghan Markle as well. You can scroll on my timeline and see what I wrote and stuff when you see her video, a picture on that video there. what I just wanted to discuss is that there are deeper lessons in all these phenomena. And sometimes I shine the light on the deeper issues of such phenomena. And what I mean with that is that you actually become more whole because now you have the phenomena which could be very healthy and good. And then you have that shadow aspect of that phenomenon where feminism has gone awry, where feminism has become narcissism itself, which is not really unique. It happens a lot, and that's like a shadow in itself, right? And then what I try to do for you is to show you how those two pieces form one whole, and then you can make the next step, and that is go to the whole, to the whole of that, and be fulfilled on yet another level, and not only those two levels, but yet another level. And that like third option kind of level is actually what our work here is all about. And it has always been about that, and it's still about that. And I just invite you to come over to that third option kind of space. It's a real space. We can live there, we can exchange there. And one first step that you could take is come to our community that is called Your Abundance. And it's a Facebook group, and you'll find a link to that on my personal profile. Now, the third thing that I wanted to discuss today is, and I think we'll keep it short this one, because there's so much to say about that, but that's for the coming years, I guess, and for people that go deeper as well. But I just wanted to mention it at this time. I think Easter is a wonderful time to make you aware of it, that there is actually like in the universe and on the earth, there is like a new layer of being and thinking and feeling that is emerging. And there are specific codes in consciousness that belong to that space, which collides with that third option kind of space that I just talked about. And I think that it is time that we be honest and say that is like what people in religion would call the second coming kind of idea, the Christ consciousness kind of rise. It doesn't matter to me personally what kind of term you would use that, because this idea that comes from religion also stems from multiple religions, and then they would use their own names for it. So when I talk about religious topics, it's never about excluding other points of view. It is always going back to the basic consciousness kind of meaning that I mean with it, which is a human meaning, right? It's a human meaning because Christ consciousness is a human potential in our, like enclosed in our DNA, in our cells, in our souls, in our energy vibration. And to unlock that and live those codes, it's really time that we do that. So, and the big secret that I wanted to reveal on this Easter Sunday for my Facebook friends is that I co created and also like got parts of that to make them whole that were initially not mine, and I co created by adding mine. And then that co creation in the Christ consciousness has ripened. This all has been done like the past 5 years approximately, and it's sort of incarnated on the earth, and it's here. The codes are here. And the point is that we have them, and I want to share them with you. You'll need to have a little bit patience with me, right? We'll need to like stretch that out. It's not something that I can hand over to you tomorrow. It's something that is then again being co-created in our relationship between you and me. And Also, here, you are so invited to start doing that. I invite you again to come over to our community, and there in 1.5 hour, is that correct? Yeah, we will have a first free event that you can just come to if you'd like. We'll be discussing a book, a beautiful manifestation book in a manifestation way, of course, that I just discussed. And we'll be sharing about that and talking about what that means to you. The book is called A Course in Miracles, and you can just come to the group and join. Join us. I would love to see you there. And for now, I just wish you a wonderful rest of your Easter Sunday. Hope to see you soon, and let that soon also be somewhere in the rest of this year, 2022. I would love for us to meet, to really get our relationship a new vibe, a new meeting point, or a meeting point that will be our very first. Okay, see you soon then. Bye bye.